Now, Florida is a very important state in America, and I'm quite sure that there are many honest politicians and cities and people in the whole nine yards. And I look forward to Florida being one of the model cities or states in the whole world. Now, we have a controversy in which there's this city that was going out there. According to the Bradford County Sheriff here, Gordon Smith, he calls Hanpton's earlier style of law enforcement cash register justice. And this is what Florida is about. Now, I've seen that many states are thinking in terms of, we will give you an incentive to come and invest here. There's no income tax, just a sales tax. And that is the problem in Florida. Now, when I heard of this city that was set in this bogus speed trap, I thought it was a city close by called Stark. What I heard is that people left Stark, or people left this Hanpton and went to Stark, or either they left Stark and went to Hanpton, but Stark was it. People warn you, when you're going through Stark, drive very slow. Because as soon as you up to the speed limit, say it's 35, and you're at 35, he can charge you with 40. But if you're going 25, he might charge you driving too slow. So the best thing to do is avoid that area. And I'm wondering why the FBI never really checked into stuff like this. There are a lot of cities that are doing this. One night I was traveling in South Carolina. They charged me for driving beneath the speed limit, $100. Well, I thought you can't win them, so I sent the 100. They sent it back 50. They said the officer broke down the amount of speed, so they give me a refund. Yeah, so Florida basically. I know California is also similar in that the highway patrol in California is out about making money. But Florida, they take the cake. I've traveled between Florida and California a couple times, and what happens in the other states, you find that the highway patrol is going round and round and looking for people that are stranded, people that have, breakdown, engine problems and so forth, and that either call a wreck or put up, stand and hold the lights on and get you in a safe position and so forth. But when you're in Florida, you only see that light flashing like that. They're writing tickets to the side of the road. When there's a valley, they're in the valley. And when you're coming over the hill, you're gunning to go up that hill. And as soon as you reach over, you might still gun in. And as soon as you come over this, above the speed limit, they're ready to give you a ticket. There's in Jacksonville, Florida, there's Arlington Bridge across the St. John River. You gun up again to the top. And when you're coming down, they're in the bush, some shrubs out there. And you see them stepping out and writing tickets, and they do it at a special time, like in 15th of the month, when probably they see that they need some more extra money. They'll write up a whole bunch of tickets, maybe $1 million worth of tickets, and then go to some cash boy. That's how I'm seeing it. Go to some cash man and say, look, we have 1 million tickets here, bro. Say, well, I can give you like 300 for that. And they take the 300, and he gonna make the profit, the 700,000 or whatever the game is working with, selling tickets or however they do it. And so it's not only traffic tickets they write. All right, you have the Department of Children and Families. They're also taking people's kids because they need money. No, they either get them federal money or state money. What they do is, they know that to run the department, they need about 1,000 kids. So if all parents in Florida were good parents, no abuse, no neglect, no abandonment, they will still take 1,000 kids because they need 1,000 kids to run, to get that money to cover the overhead and the salaries and so on. Now, what they will do is, they will call in themselves. They'll get somebody to call in and say, that woman over there was abusing our kids. They can come over and say, well, we heard that you're abusing these kids, but it's okay. All we want to do is to give you some help that you could improve things and take it to court. And most of these parents think that this Department of Children and Families, especially some of Saladino, that they're honest. And what they're trying to do, they're trying to trap you. Because they can say, okay, this is either here nor there, and they have an attorney who working with them anyway, so he's not going to be opposing nothing because they hire him. Saladino will recommend that this attorney be on this case, knowing that's your friend, and so on. And so they give you a kit thing. They're going to say, well, okay, what if you find a job, you pay child support, you have stable housing, you do child give you skills to be a good parent, parenting classes. They might give you all kinds of stuff. But what they can do now, the people who provide these services, they already give them a wink. Wink, wink. So these people are going to frustrate these parents. And I'm telling you, they could frustrate you to the extent where this parent can say, you know what, I'm not going to even worry to go through this thing. In my case, they want you to go and do psychiatry. Because they know that either you're going to go and they're going to declare you mentally incompetent, and so they're going to take your kids, or you don't go and they're going to take your kids. So you lost both ways. But I prefer them to take the kid than for them to say that I have psychiatric problems and put me on medication. Now, what happened, they're so stupid in that they just feel that some Saladino is especially so stupid. She thinks that these parents that in the foster care system that helping take care of these kids are so good. These people are only concerned about a check. Many of them might be retiree, or they might have been ex-convicts and they're drug addicts and whatever, and they're now trying to come back and play, oh, we so love kids. And it's about a business. They get foods from the food bank, they get clothes from the thrift store, or from the same food bank, another section for clothes, and they give these kids Kool-Aid morning, noon, and night. Sometimes you teach in the schools, the kids are saying, could you give me 50 cents? They're on free lunch and whatever, and they're taking that money to fix the bank account, fix the face, and take care of their real kids, help them with a mortgage or help them with university and so on. I know in California here, there's this woman, she's a smoker. She had to have a bunch of help to finish college, and now she got somebody to help her with a down payment on a house. She wants a minivan, and she wants about 8 kids. She's thinking that if each bring in about $1,000, so that's $8,000 a month. And her rent and all that stuff is about $6,000, and then she has $2,000 to save. She can get food to feed them from the food bank, or when they go to school they get free lunch or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So this Summer Saladino, she has this classic game of hoodwinking these parents. And so when these parents now say, okay, this is easy, I'll do this case, and they frustrate you. In my case, what they'll do is they will cause the landlord to maintain the place unsanitarily. In one house I was, the sewer was coming into the yard, and I talked to the guy, I said, bro, how you could have this going on here, man? We have a child here. He don't care. Then they come sit and they say, oh, unhealthy conditions. So I moved out from there before that happens. I went to the next house, and again they got with him, and what he's doing, the fuse is constantly blowing during the winter. So I'm running a cable from upstairs to get current so we can have some heat in the house. The department comes and say, what's all this cable about? So I had to move again from there. So now they're going to say you don't have stable housing. Employment, for example, I was working substitute teaching. They said that is not, some of that Saladino said that's not stable employment. I'm working with the same employer, but I have to go to different schools. That's not stable employment. And they call somebody to call the school and tell them that I'm a sexual predator. Now, I talked to the police officer that is assigned to that school. I said, look, somebody just called in here saying that I'm a sexual predator, and this is serious. Could we track the number? And they said, we don't have to do that. We know that as long as you're working here, we've done a background check. And if somebody had that kind of information, they would have presented it to us. It was credible. We would have pursued a charge. So you don't have to worry about it. But people heard that. They already look at you suspicious. So, bam, you got to move again. Because that time I had a long-term science at a middle school. So I had to move to the next school. And again, they say you don't have stable employment. They say you have to pay child support. And what they'll do is, what some of the Saladino will do, they will not change the payee to the person who has the kid or to the department. They're paying it to the mom. And the mom still lives with you. So then they'll come back and say, he's paying the money to his mom, to the mom, and not to the department or to. We went to the department and said, could you change this pay to whoever has the child? No. The department has to do that. They won't do it. You see what I'm saying? So Saladino has crafted and made the Department of Children such a scam, a money-making game, and a cash register justice that it's beneath the dignity of Florida, a state in the United States operating that low. And so when Jeb Bush was there, I don't know why he didn't institute an income tax. Jeb Bush could have made a difference if he had. You see, with people doing drugs and people doing all this funny, stupid stuff, you're not sure that the money's going to be in the marketplace. When you're buying drugs, you don't pay tax on that. And some people, all their money go for drugs. So you're losing out on some serious sales tax there. And then the drug dealer, he has the duffel bag with the money. So, money's out of the circulation and so forth. That money might go to Colombia or to Mexico or wherever. So Jeb Bush was also responsible for this. If he had said, let us have an income tax, maybe make it low, so you're guaranteed, as long as these people are working, you can get so much money in, and that you could take care of your basic needs. Paying the department insurance so that they're going to prevent parents from abusing the kids, and also prevent the removal of people's kids. Because it costs in the state and whoever it is, because when they have to pay these people that have the kids, that's extra money. Whereas and Florida law says that they should give these kids to the parents' relatives. And if there's no relative, you have overseas, you have local, national, then you have somebody in that community. But no, they have their friends. They want the lady who has our daughter, she's been calling in. I need a child, I need a girl, I have a boy, I need a girl. She need a wife for the boy. And someone Saladino saying that they assured her from the start that this is her child. So all this game they're playing that, oh, we're trying to help this parent to reunite the kid and all this. No, they're not interested in that. So I think that Florida is giving itself a bad rap, and unless they get rid of people like Summer Saladino, and well, we should avoid Jeb Bush from ever getting any office in the country, even the whole Bush family, because they're not seem to be working for America. They're more working for the enemy. And institute an income tax so that these cities don't have to go out harassing people and highway patrol out there taking people money, because in some Saladino's case, they get so many derogatory psychiatric and psychological reports on the parents that these parents even take those reports now and go and qualify for Social Security. So you see how it is? I mean, it's crazy. And some Saladino is so outrageous. For example, she sent me to a psychologist for an assessment. Now he says that he can't verify my work experience and he can't verify my education. Therefore, he thinks that I need long-term counseling. So you see what he's going on? He's not saying that I'm abusing the child or I'm doing something that is bizarre. He's even saying I am also into risky behavior. What kind of behavior he's talking that's risky? But he puts in these things and it sounds so psychological, and then you recommend now that I go and see a psychiatrist and all this kind of stuff. And you know what was most troubling about this whole matter is this. When the report that the psychologist gave, the first time I hear about it is in court. Now, I mean, what due process is this? I should have been able to get this report and look at it. Well, don't consult the attorney, because he's just working for them and he ain't going to do nothing at all, because his job is more important than your defense and your justice and the whole 9 yards. I look at it and be able to come up with, reason. But in the midst of the trial, she said, and I got the psychologist's report and it is not good. And she read to the judge and the judge said, take it and read it now. And when I read it, I mean, I can't respond to it so fast. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not, I didn't expect anything to be a problem because I thought I did okay. Bam. I did everything. But she said, or I performed substantially. But what she did, she decided that she knows where I'm in California. She publishes locally that they're having this termination of parent rights hearing. And then when she terminates my parent right, and she can send me a copy saying your rights are terminated. When I send my response to it, she's saying that, he never talked about due process. I had due process right in there, but they have the people who are taking your briefs and changing it around, taking out your issues and so on. I recall I went to the court, the appeals court one day. I went out to Florida and I was passing through Tallahassee. I said, could I see my filings here? He said, the room is locked. The person who has the key going to be back in a little bit. So I waited. In the afternoon I went back. He said, it is still the same situation. And it kept on like that. So I couldn't stay because I had just one day I would have stayed in Tallahassee. I had to come to California. And so they're taking your briefs, changing it around, making it, moot, and then, they're going on with this stuff. So Florida, if there's a command to Florida, you got to start doing the right, following the law, man. Follow the Constitution. Don't harass people on the highway. What Stark and Hanpton is doing, that is normal. They have to do stuff like that to raise money, okay? And many cities do it. They do it all the time. They set the meter, the speed trap at 40, and you come through at a 30 zone. Oh, look, you're doing 40. Look, you're doing 40, and don't click it off. Then you're doing 40 and keep right. I mean, this is MO. No, I'm not sure I just single out Hanpton, because Stark is doing the same thing, and the Highway Patrol is doing the same thing in Florida. So I find this whole thing is troubling, and I think the Justice Department needs to get in on this and solve the problem. Help Florida to follow the law and be sort of a good state.